People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. And thank you very much for tuning in to another edition of the Deluded podcast, the DG podcast, the Really and Truly podcast. You know, whatever you guys want. The People's podcast is the other name I'm forgetting. You know, every day it takes on a podcast, a new name of itself, the podcast. As long as you're making sure you're here each and every time it comes out and you're supporting across YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and the rest of the streaming outlets, quite frankly, I don't care. You know, this might not be my heavily most viewed bit of content, but it's probably the content I enjoy the most because we speak about football from a neutral point of view. So yeah, man, big up to yourselves whether you're watching this, listening better yet on Spotify and Apple. For you freeloading lazy ones, again, at the time of you guys hearing this, you're probably looking at it on a delayed one on YouTube, but I appreciate all the support. Now, primarily, we've been using this podcast to focus on the Euros, and I think we should do exactly that. It's a bit of a crazy one, people. Before we talk about the results, you know, you look at group winners. Italy have won Group A, Group B goes to Belgium, Group C has gone to Netherlands. In terms of runners-up for the competition, people, for the group stages at this moment in the competition, Wales finished runner-up, Denmark finished runner-up, Austria, after dramatics yesterday, finished runner-up. Third best place four teams qualify via the third place best team, Switzerland so far are there. You know, without kicking the ball, England have qualified as well as Czech Republic, but it's still, for the last 16 that is, but it still remains anyone's guess as to where specifically do they finish. The same goal currently for Sweden and France, people. You know, as of Monday night, last night, really and truly, 11 teams qualified for the last round of 16. Once again, Italy, Belgium and Netherlands were confirmed as group winners, while obviously Austria, Denmark and Wales were confirmed as runners-up. You know, good, to be fair with you, big up Wales, because again, I'm not going to say I expected them not to go through. Again, 3 teams can potentially go through. I expected Wales to go through. Admittedly, potentially Wales could have been the third best place playoff, but they've done well, man. You know, unfortunately they lost against Italy, but I think they gave themselves, you know, a good fight against Italy. Fair enough, it was a rotated Italian side and whatnot, but yeah, I think Switzerland probably expected to end the group runners up, but Bale, Ramsey and co have said no. Denmark, obviously dramatic scenes in their game yesterday. I'm sure you all saw that 4-1 victory for them against Russia. Again, shout out to Christensen, the Chelsea centre-half. What a bang that was. Obviously, is it Millet? The other defender, he had a neat finish. There was some, Damstat, he's been one of Denmark's better players. That was a fantastic crack from him. Poulsen added to the score sheet. There's been some boring games in the Euros and lacking in quality, but there has been some gems, really and truly. Denmark's 4-1 victory, as I just said, was a serious one. You had Switzerland's dramatic. Well, I say dramatic, but it weren't even dramatic. Turkey at least score a goal in the competition. It was a good finish by Kavzi, for what it's worth. Seferovic and a brace from Shaqiri, including a customary Shaqiri screamer in the competition or any international competition he plays for Switzerland, was confirmed, people. So yeah, we're gonna get on in a sec, people, as I said, man. So there were some great games. Obviously, there's still a lot of football to be played, people, and a lot of things and all of that. But yeah, it looks like it's a decent round. Again, there's a lot of to and fro in. England have the Czech Republic. We're gonna get into that, but boy, that could be anything, man. But to see 11 teams have qualified so far, it is what it is, people. In that regards. And it's been an interesting Euros. It's difficult to really pick a winner because I'd say even all the bigger nations, there's little bits and pieces. If you're nitpicking, you can say, "Oh, against a top team, they'd be in trouble. Oh, they'd be in trouble." And we've spoken about it. I think that goes for Italy, Belgium, France, Germany, all of them. For the French, they concede a lot of chances, and you look at Benjamin Pavard and Varane. If you pull it on them, they probably will let you down. For the Belgians, they seem to not play well for the whole 90 minutes, in my opinion, and the level of opposition. Italy the same. Holland have looked good, but they still don't shut teams out all the way. Portugal are what they are. They're a bit open. I think Germany have conceded a lot of chances in their last 2 games, but between beating France and smashing Portugal more or less, nobody speaks about it. So it's difficult picking a winner, really and truly, in terms of the Euros. Like I say, I think everybody looks good, but when you're nitpicking, you can say, "Oh, if they play someone of a similar standard, could they get exploited? So I think that adds to the excitement in that there's not a clear winner. If you're asking me to put money on the table, it's France or Italy. Now, again, assuming Italy go through, I swear they play France, so all these things are gazy. I should really type in online who plays who in the Euros, because actually the rules have confused me. I don't know who plays who in the last 16 and all of those sort of things, man. Let me see. Last 16. There should be someone who's smart enough of all of this stuff. Well, there's nothing there, really and truly. I mean, I would have thought Sky Sports would have had something here, but people, they're just telling me random nonsense. Oh, tell a lie, people. I'm being very critical, because when you look at it, Wales will play in Amsterdam on Saturday night against Denmark. The Netherlands will play on Sunday in Budapest against a third place finisher from either Group D, E, or F. Sorry, people. Again, I should have the Euros groups up for you, because again, if you're like me, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games saying the group names in that, but who the hell is in what group? I don't know. This is hardly. If you was to ask me about the the World Cup and all of those things, and even Euros in previous years, I could tell you everyone who's in every group, people. But I've got it up here for you, here, people. Really and truly, I should do a split screen, because I need to see the groups as I'm speaking to you guys, people. It's not gonna make sense. But like I said, Holland will play on Sunday in Budapest against a third best placed team from either D, E, or F. So if we quickly scroll down, D, E, or F, so they could potentially play, if you're in D, boy, if you finish third, they're probably looking at playing Croatia. Again, it's all to be decided in England's group, because everybody can still go through, really and truly. A win for Croatia, the goal difference shakes them, but a win and certain things for Scotland and Croatia, they could bag a place through. England currently are fourth, Czech Republic are fourth, so the man are going through, but where are we playing? So again, potentially, if we were to finish third, which I don't think we can because of goal difference, but then again, depending on scorelines, it could go ahead. You're playing Holland, really and truly. Also in that, they could play the third best placed team in E, which would be currently it would be Spain. As you know, in Group E is Spain, Sweden, Slovakia, and Poland. Poland are probably out. F, third. If you finish third, then again it could set up Holland versus Portugal. In my opinion, you've got Holland, Hungary, Germany, and obviously France. So it could be game on for Holland, really and truly. Italy will play the winners in Group C on Saturday at Wembley. They'll play the runners-up in Group C, so obviously that's probably a favourable one from them. They could potentially play the runners-up. That probably is Austria. Austria, Ukraine and Macedonia are in that group along with Holland, so it's an interesting one. Where is it said? Belgium will play on Sunday against another best placed third finisher. It doesn't actually say specifically. As things stand in Group D, England are in second place, and we would play the runners-up from Group E, which again is currently Slovakia, but it could be Spain, Sweden, or Poland. They could all realistically finish second, so we'll have to see, people. If we obviously beat the Czech Republic on Tuesday to top the group, people, then we would have to play the runners-up of Group F. Now, Group F is again that group of death, where again you look at it, people. Let me say it again, just if it didn't scare you enough. At the moment it's Germany in second place, but you could have France, Germany, Portugal, or Hungary if they realistically somehow bag third. Now, boy, Germany's Germany. They're going to wipe the floor with England. As I said, anything less than the semi-finals for England is failure. But boy, based on the things I'm saying to you guys, does this sound like a team capable of getting there? Anything can happen. Scotland are bottom of Group D, people. Were they to progress, people, as one of the best fourth best third place team, it's possible they'd actually play a last 16 at Hampden Park, people, where it could be against Sweden. Obviously, Scotland, were they to progress from third place, could also play Holland or Belgium as well, people. And we're going a bit ahead, but this article's actually said, people, in relation to the quarterfinals, people. One of the few certainties about the quarterfinal lineup at present is that both Wales and Holland win their last 16 ties. They will meet in the last 8 in Baku. The other fixed point is that the winners of the last 16 tie between Italy and Austria at Wembley will play their quarterfinal in Munich on Friday, July the 2nd. As for England, there is a series of what-if scenarios in speculating on who they might face in the quarterfinals and beyond. Let's just deal with what we've got in front of us first and foremost in the Czech Republic. But it is what it is. Were England to progress as group winners and win their last 16 tie, they would play on Saturday in Rome. Assuming the winner of Group E beats a third best placed team, their opponents would most likely be Spain or Sweden. If we were to progress as runners-up and win our last 16 tie, we would play in Russia. Assuming the winners of Group F beat the third best team, our opponents could be France, Germany or Portugal, people. The same would be true of Scotland in the event they qualified from Group D as runners-up ahead of England. So it's a crazy one, people. You know, it's a crazy one. But at the end of the day, you're in this competition. You have to play the bigger nations sooner or later. Arguably, it's better to play them quicker, because the quicker you play them and knock them out, the easier the run should be, in theory. I'm sure not many of you are confident in England's chances anyways, people, and I can't blame you for such, because England haven't shown you anything. As I keep saying, if it was based on the Croatia game, it's coming home. If it was based on the Scotland game, we're going home. And that sets me up perfectly to, let's speak about the action we've seen over the last few days. Now, England, I think England, sadly, we drew 0-0 against Scotland. You can see Scotland celebrating like it's the Champions League. We knew they were going to come and make it difficult for us and tough for us. Credit to Scotland. They could have robbed the game on another hand. I think England are the only team, or one of the only teams, if that in the Euros, I'd say us, Turkey, maybe Russia. What the hell are we doing? What the hell are we about? What the hell is the style of play? What have we been doing in qualifiers? This is meant to be a year in preparation. So what has Gareth Southgate been doing? Obviously, I don't see a core group of players that the squad is built around. Yes, there's players that play all the time, but squad that's built around. I don't see a style of play. I don't see one system minimum and two systems, which everyone should have, able for England to play. We're just freestyling. You look at the Scottish game, as I said, Harry Kane's doing the same nonsense he does for Spurs, dropping deep unnecessarily on the halfway line. Someone tell him to stay and occupy the centre halves. You can drop as much as you want, and I don't blame you when there's Harry Winks and these sort of players in midfield. They can't pass you a ball. But when you've got Mount, Sterling, these guys, you don't need to drop. Kane, in the same way Bruno Fernandes was doing his United foolishness for Portugal and he got found out, Kane was doing his Spurs foolishness. And it was quite frustrating to watch, people. And, if Kane was a different sort of person, like if that's Pogba or Sterling, and Kane's had 2 woeful games and his future is on speculation and these things, people are talking about his attitude, his commitment and all of these things, which shouldn't be spoken about. I just think it's funny how there's a lot of luxuries. Kane is playing absolutely dog poo. He needs to up it. The problem for England, there isn't another striker. I think for Calvert-Lewin, you saw exactly where you feature, As I've said, I'd probably assume Raheem Sterling to play up front before Calvert-Lewin. Marcus Rashford, when was the last time he excelled through the middle? It's all off the left wing for United, come off the bench. So Southgate showed me that we can have as many exciting players as we want. If the manager is cowardly, it's a myth. It's a myth. The manager is meant to reflect the team is meant to reflect the manager. I don't see young, hungry and innovative when I look at Southgate. I see safe, scared, steady Eddie. And he doesn't even wear the 3-piece suits anymore. So who told him he earned the right to wear the casual drip? But it was atrocious, Sterling, it's very disjointed. Kane, Sterling, Foden, Mount, everybody's doing their own thing. And I can't blame them, because it doesn't look like there's a system. These players can come out and save Southgate as much as they want and say, yeah, there's a system, there's tactics. And there might be. You lot are training all week. I'm watching you lot. I'm watching Euros. I'm watching you lot today. I'm watching you lot whenever. And all I can comment is what I'm seeing. It just looks like vibes. There's too much question marks. There was question marks before the tournament, not just about Southgate over the decisions he's making. He spent the warm-up games, messing about, playing players that aren't going to be a part. Lord knows why Lingard, Godfrey, Ward-Prowse, and all of these players were getting game time when it became abundantly clear they're not involved. And you're seeing it, people. It's just absolute nonsense. It's a mockery, really. Against Scotland, it was woeful. We're lucky not to have lost that game. We set up way too defensive against Scotland. You don't shoot, you don't score. And if that, man, one shot on target. Scotland had 2 shots on target, and they had 11 shots, so they wanted it a bit more than us. Tierney and Robertson were quite amazing, and that's a fake left-hand side to have, really. Scotland did well. Do you think people are overhyping the Billy Gilmour performance against England? But he was solid, and unfortunately, he's contracted COVID, and it's touch and go for, I believe, Rice and Mount because they came into contact with Billy. But one shot on target. 9 shots, 1 shot on target. So we're toothless. We can barely defend. There's barely a style of play. We're vibes. The minute you buck a half-competent team, you're going out. And that might be, we might be in trouble today against the Czech Republic in general. We beat Croatia fair play, but we was on the back foot for the majority of the game. Same goes for the England one. It's too disjointed. Southgate, there's too much problems, I don't know why you don't want to use Grealish. I mean, evidently in that game for me, you're picking the wrong personnel because you could have. Sancho wasn't about. I would have personally brought on Bukayo Saka, maybe even Shaw, but Saka when it became Shaw Shaw wasn't quite cutting the mustard going forward. Calvert-Lewin, I would have even brought him on just to wallop it up top. He gives you a bit something different. I don't really see what this team's about, and it's quite annoying watching Southgate because he's going to keep the role. We've got to remember this is back-to-back championships in the sense of international tournaments. We've got the championships this year. You've got the World Cup next year. So again, Southgate, really? Really and truly, you dominated the possession against the Scots, but what did you do? Shout out to Reece James for clearing a shot on the line. I actually think Pickford was all right. I'm very critical of Mings, but I think Mings held it up in what he could do. Defensively, Shaw had 1-2 things, and Stones was okay on the ball, so I can't really complain about the defence. They kept a clean sheet. It's more the system. It's more what the hell are these players working on? Because you're not working on tactics, and you're not giving them freedom to do whatever. We should not sit here and have a problem. Oh, you got Mount, Sterling, Sancho, Foden, Grealish, Kane, all these guys. We shouldn't be talking about not being able to play football and that. What is the problem? And this is the mockery Southgate and his coaching staff are making of the national team. Why you have to go with Calvin Phillips and Rice together against Scotland, I don't know. I get it. Calvin Phillips played his way into the team. Rice played his way. But any credible manager, you're dropping one of them out because you want to be, it's a bit more even, the Scottish game, than us against what we would have expected, the Croatians. Definitely in the middle of the park with Modric and Kovacic. With respect to McGregor, Billy Gilmour is certified, but McGregor and these, man, they're not quality like that. It's probably more of an even match. I'm a big fan of McGinn. Billy Gilmour is Billy Gilmour. McGregor gives something to the cause, but he's not quality like that. So I do think a credible manager would have went with either Declan Rice and Mount, or Phillips and Mount, because I think that's what you could have done. With that, you drop one out. You could even put Grealish straight in the 10, or you can shift Foden out to the 10 and then bring in Grealish. Or we all know for some reason he doesn't feel. I think even Maddison could have been in this squad form, or not when I'm looking at it, because our bench is dead. We all know Southgate is never really keen on having, let alone 2, but 3 of Mount, Grealish and Foden all on the same team at the same time. So, all right, cool. You don't want to bring one on, bring on a Sancho. What's the point? Man's about to become the most expensive English player in a while, Badded it up in Germany last year. What's the point calling up, man? Like, all I'm seeing with Jadon Sancho is him and Saka are doing up these FA videos for England. Maybe they're taking over Lingard's duty. What's the point, really and truly? I don't get what we're doing at this level. Pickford, if I didn't say, had a good game as well. Shout out to Scotland. Like I said, O'Donnell, he looked shaky in their game against the Czechs. He was quality at right back. Tierney and Robertson did well. Billy Gilmour, McGregor, McGinn, they mashed work. We made Che Adams look amazing, and he justified his start. He had a good cameo off the bench in their first game. Justified his start in this game. I couldn't believe how open we were in the middle and just allowing him to pick it up. Dykes is winning hella balls, and really and truly, we're lucky that we didn't lose this, but we didn't offer nothing at all. And I mean, 2 subs, you're allowed 5. Man brought on 2 subs, and like I said, he brought on Grealish with no real time. He should have brought on Grealish earlier. He brought on Rashford, which again screams desperation. This manager's not brave enough. He moves like, do you know what Southgate is doing? He's moving like he's playing 38 games. And I'm tired of it, and it's not going to end nice. I want to be proven wrong. Like I said, I want it to come home. I was giving Southgate his props against Croatia, but now it's making me think, was that an accidental drilling, people? Did you mean to do that? I don't know what you're on. And again, a team's a reflection of the manager. The manager should be a reflection of the country or the coach's philosophy. Is Southgate the most innovative coach this country can call upon, the most daring? Is he what the game should represent? Is he the blueprint and the fabric of English football? Boy, he talks real good. He wears the 3-piece suit. But when it comes to being brave, innovative and exciting like some of these young players, he doesn't know what that is. He's exciting as a game of bingo, really and truly. I mean, Jesus. You know, it'd be a bunch. I'm sure Gareth Southgate would be fun at parties, man. I'm sure he would. But yeah, man, the less said about England, the best. So 4 points from our first 2 games. Personally, remember I did say draw, win, loss. I want to be wrong, but the game against the Czech Republic could get gazy for us. Obviously, Croatia versus the Czech Republic ended 1-1. I do think VAR has been good in this competition, but of recent it's starting to shake people. I don't understand how Lovren was given a penalty against, and there's been, I can't remember the games, but in that's followed, there's been a couple of other controversial moments with VAR giving penalties and stuff. Maybe they've heard us complain a bit too much and they've wanted to give us more goals. Croatia versus the Czech Republic wasn't the most greatest of watches. They played football, 3 shots on target combined by the 2 players, 2 sides people. Perisic saved Croatia's blushes, and to be fair with you, Croatia have a point. They've got it all to do in their last game, people, against Wales, I believe, and Wales are through, so we have to see. England drew 1-1. You saw Sweden defeat Slovakia 1-0. Again, Forsberg put in a penalty. Low-key affair in that regards. I think we spoke about Thursday's football, so we won't go over that. And if I didn't, apologies, people. I'm sure I brought one out. Yeah, we didn't actually, people. So yeah, man, if you were missing, obviously Italy defeated Switzerland 3-0, Ukraine 1-2-1 against North Macedonia, Belgium 1-2-1 against Denmark. Denmark started off well in that game. Poulsen gave it to them before drama, with Kevin De Bruyne getting an assist and a goal. Obviously, Lukaku played very well in that game. Great cameo from Hazard. Thorgan Hazard scored. Eden Hazard with a good cameo was involved in one of the goals. Kevin and Lukaku. So really, all the former Chelsea boys. I mean, it's that sort of hunger and fighting spirit that saw Denmark obviously qualify really and smash out Russia in their next game. It was a very good game in that regards, man. Again, Denmark did them tactically. And that's even a thing as well. I ain't seen Southgate do anything tactically. I've seen in Hungary's 1-1 draw against France, Pogba had some good touches. Griezmann ultimately scored. Benzema forgot his shooting boots and should have finished off what could have been team goal of the tournament. There was a couple of other huffs and puffs, but I think Hungary did a number on them, 3 at the back, won their 1v1 battles, ganged up on them. I ain't seen Southgate do a job. That's an overperformance from Hungary. Now, obviously, Hungary go to the latter stages, which is mathematically possible. They'll struggle. But I ain't seen them put in a shift. Granted, personally, Ukraine are out. I don't know what's going on with Czech Republic. Hungary, I don't know what's going on. But I think these 3 nations have played better football than us, England. And who's got better players? So again, it's down to the manager. Obviously, Holland won 2-0 against the Netherlands. I mean, how can Holland win 2-0 against the Netherlands? They beat Austria 2-0. Austria have qualified. Alaba conceded a penalty. Dumfries, who's trying to get top goal scorer in the tournament. And Memphis Depay, who went and scored in his last game, having a great tournament, made it 2-0. Hungary won, France won, as I said. They frustrated them. Crazy 6-goal thriller between Portugal and Germany. Portugal hit them on the counter, but, Germany ran riot. I can't believe the own goals. The quick-fire first-half own goals I saw from Guerrero and Diaz. Grossens, again, Dumfries, Spinazzola, all the fullbacks are trying to turn up in this competition. Havertz and Gosens turned up in the second half and made it 4. Obviously, Ronaldo's got a goal and assist, and as does Diogo Jota. Portugal had 7 shots and 2 on target. Personally, I feel their subs did more than a lot of people who started, like Renato Sanchez. Absolutely barged Emre Can into next Wednesday. He hit the post. João Moutinho did more than I think Bruno Fernandes brought to the table. Shout out to Bernardo Silva for being involved in the first goal. But Bruno Fernandes is a percentages footballer. He's just found something that works and he does it. And he's a very good player. I like him, but his IQ at this level isn't working. Like, he really was woeful for Portugal. Really didn't stand out. And I mean, Portugal is a suicidal midfield. You can't have 2 builders in Danilo and Carvalho and then Bruno ahead of them and expect anything serious to happen. And I wonder why your front 3 are in and out the game, really and truly. Can't believe it in that regards. But it is what it is, man. Portugal 2, Germany 4. Even Germany had they conceded 2 goals, so it kind of is that. But Rudiger saved them. This is the second game Germany have looked a bit open defensively. And this is what I mean by if I'm real with you, I don't think you can pick a winner of the Euros at this moment in time. Spain and Poland drew 1-1. Spain up there for being one of the most boring teams to watch in this competition. You know, Morata gave them the lead before Lewandowski, you know, the gunman, which is Lewandowski, scored and ensured Poland could take it to the last game of the season to see if they, of the group, to qualify. Obviously, Spain did miss a penalty. Gerard Moreno is quite quality in front of goal from the spot, missed. Morata with a Morata sort of miss from a couple of yards, really should have bagged and, play. 2 games, 2 points from Spain. You know, that's the sort of stuff that, it wouldn't surprise me if they go on and win it, because I think it's going to be a crazy Euros, but we'll have to see. Obviously, Italy rotated their side and they did what they needed to do. They won just a customary 0-0, really. Amanfadu was sent off. Again, it was a high challenge, but do I think he should have been sent off? Probably not. Switzerland 3, Turkey 1. As I said, that was a crazy game. Seferovic scored a good goal. It's a shame that Shaqiri scored an absolute thumping goal with his right peg, I believe it was, with his weaker foot. Shaqiri braced, Seferovic bagged, and as well ensures that Switzerland score and win 3-1, people. It is what it is for Turkey. They're out. I can't believe people said they're dark horses. Austria defeated Ukraine 1-0, courtesy of a goal in the 21st minute. There was a number of chances Ukraine had to score as well, but that's enough to see Austria through. Credit to them. North Macedonia, they tried. They did all right, but definitely a better game from Elmas for North Macedonia than I expected. But they couldn't stop the Netherlands, people. Wijnaldum scored 2 tap-ins, and the easiest goals he'll score, and continues his claim to try get the golden boot for the competition, as does Memphis Depay, who also got on the score sheet, people. And, Holland looked good, really, and Holland haven't been troubled. As I said, Russia 1, Denmark 4. Finland lost 2-0 against Belgium. Lukaku and the known goal. Listen, literally in the last 15 minutes, Lukaku did have an effort ruled out for for VAR, for being offside. But yeah, man, it was a terrible watch. Terrible watch, to put it nicely. I can't believe I did a watch-along. I don't know how. Shout out to everyone who was at that watch-along, because you helped me stay alive. But yeah, man, Lukaku keeps his claims of a golden boot. But that was terrible, man. And I think Belgium are in trouble when they play a team that's half decent, man, if I'm completely honest with you. But yeah, man, Belgium won 2-0. So with that, it is what it is. And then you look to the action today. England have to be on job, because it's England versus Czech Republic. Czech Republic have played better football than us, are dangerous from set pieces. Got to be very careful of that game, people. Czech Republic versus England. Scotland versus Croatia. Both teams need a win to go through. Croatia need a win like they've never needed one before. The Scottish the same. Sweden against Poland again. Poland win, they go through. If not, it's a myth. Slovakia against Spain. You'd imagine Spain need 3 points. This is all tomorrow. Starting from Sweden, Poland's tomorrow. Slovakia, Spain's tomorrow. Portugal, France is tomorrow. Again, that should be an interesting one, as is Germany versus Hungary, people. And then obviously we'll cover it again. But the last round of 16 at current, people, you've got Wales against Denmark, Italy against Austria. It's to be decided currently who Holland could face. The same goes for Belgium, and the same it goes for the rest of them. They haven't been decided yet. So it's going to be an interesting one in that regards, folks. So yeah, really, really, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you, if we look at some transfer news to wrap this up, people, obviously make sure you're paying attention to my YouTube content, because by then you'll probably see some videos and them things there. But if we just quickly go to the BBC's transfer section, because we've spent a lot on the Euros. I don't like to leave you lot hanging. I do like to provide 1-2 other bits. Apparently, Barcelona president João Laporta dreams of pairing Cristiano Ronaldo with Messi next season, and is ready to offer 2 players in exchange to help persuade Juventus to sell the 36-year-old Portugal forward. Well, we'll have to see. Manchester City are ready to include Brazil striker Gabriel Jesus and England forward Raheem Sterling in any bid for the 27-year-old Harry Kane, which I think you're more likely of Jesus. I don't think Sterling would agree to it. Man United are making progress in their effort to sign 24-year-old Spain defender Paul Torres. What a defender that is. Apparently Atletico want to buy Bellerin. I'll believe it when I see it. Apparently Juventus want to sell Wales midfielder Aaron Ramsey. Wouldn't surprise me. Rafa Benitez is edging closer and closer to the Everton job. Lucien Favre has held positive talks with Crystal Palace over replacing Roy Hodgson. We'll have to see. Atalanta are expected to hold off interest from both AC Milan and Roma in Italy midfielder Pezzina, and is set to offer the 24-year-old a contract extension, which he's in the Euros. Apparently, Nico Williams could leave Liverpool, and he's keen to leave to play first team football. Apparently Leeds, Southampton, Aston Villa and Burnley are all watching him. Wolves are interested in signing Leicester goalkeeper Danny Ward, who's playing quite well and is, good second fiddle keeper to have, but he's unfortunate Kasper Schmeichel's ahead of him. Antonio Rudiger's got a year left on his deal at 28 years of age. I know Thomas Tuchel has praised his focus, but surely something needs to be done there. Denzel Dumfries, who's having a good Euros campaign with PSV, apparently has interest from Bayern Munich. Apparently they have joined Everton, AC Milan and Inter Milan in the race to sign the 25-year-old international fullback who plays for Holland. Samore will have a medical at Leicester in the next 10 days before signing a 5-year deal. Apparently Liverpool have no plans to sell Kostas Tsimikas this summer, despite the 25-year-old only making 7 appearances last season. Roma are in talks with Wolves over a deal for Portuguese goalkeeper Rui Patricio. Apparently James Ward-Prowse is interested in joining Villa this summer. And Scott Parker is close to finalising the termination of his contract. Apparently he's expected to actually take over from Bournemouth, really and truly. So we'll have to see what happens. So yeah, man, we've spoke about the Euros. We've tried a thing with the transfers. I'm probably going to do a bit more streams on my YouTube, so make sure you're checking that out. But yeah, man, in that regards, people, it's been a good half an hour of the DG podcast. Please make sure you're following on Spotify, Apple and those things. Please make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you haven't. Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. Enjoy what's left of your day. People, DG, I'm out. Thank you for listening.